Hey folks, I wanted to bring you on board today and show you how we took our front yard, our front lawn, it was a mix of grass and weeds, but how we turned our front yard into a good food producing system in one season. And I want to show you how to make this garden because it's a very low maintenance garden once it's established. So I want to just walk you through the process today and show you what we did to get what we have here this spring. Number one thing we did was decide on how big our garden space was going to be, and then with a shovel and a hoe, and we also had some equipment in here, we took off probably the first 4 inches of topsoil, completely cleared the site so that we would not be battling those weeds, seeds, the grass roots for our entire gardening as long as we were here. So that was the first step. The next thing we did was haul in good soil. Now, if you know anything about the piece of land we bought, it's the bottom of an old riverbed. There ain't no good soil on this property. So we had to haul it all in. Once we had it here, we then formed it into above the ground raised growing beds, and they varied in depth anywhere from 12 to 24 inches wide because most vegetables actually don't need a ton of good topsoil to grow in. So we formed these mounds. People tell me they look like little graves. But we formed these mounds, and that's what we actually grew our veggies in. These were freestanding beds and we had no lumber and no construction involved in the process, we mulched the sides very heavily with straw and also the top to help suppress the weeds. This is one of the lowest maintenance gardens you can find out there. So straw mulch was the name of the game. Old composted straw mulch. If it's fresh, your weed seeds are going to go to seed, they're going to grow and sprout. So we made sure we had some old straw that we mulched these beds all over with. But we didn't stop there. We also mulched the walkways. We put down cardboard. And a lot of areas we just covered it with a light layer of straw to hold it in place. And that way I don't have to weed my beds much at all. And I don't have to really weed my walkways. Unless there's areas like this section here where nothing's planted. And you can see the weeds are doing well and they're very happy there. Now I know these beds are a bit unusual, so how do you actually go about planting in them? I'm going to show you. So this is what we do to plant these rows with especially your root veggies. We just make lines in the straw and then that's where we're going to seed everything all the way down. I've done that with the parsnips. You can see here we've got a row of carrots where we've used a similar technique. And then for our beets, this is what the rows actually look like once they fill out. Just a nice wide green bed. These need to be thinned. But that's how we do root veggies. And then of course things like our cabbages, we just space them. You can see a wide row of onions. We've got broccoli and cauliflower. It works really well. folks, thanks so much for joining me. I hope this gave you some ideas, some tips for creating a low maintenance garden in your French yard. Be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and of course you can always find more at atraditionallife.com. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.